Nethamus, a world known for its abundant harvests and, well, its industrial might too. But recently, a sort of grim haze has settled over its eastern industrial wastelands. And through that haze, something truly monstrous has begun to stir. This isn't just whispers anymore, It's shaping up to be a terrifying confrontation. Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Today we're embarking on quite an extraordinary journey into a recently shared source, a really detailed account of a desperate battle. It offers this harrowing glimpse into a potential future. It's not just any battle report.
Right. And our mission for this deep dive is essentially to dissect the brutal moments, the kind of clash that pushes both sides to their absolute limits. We want to uncover the pivotal insights gained from such a brutal confrontation. We're focusing not just on, the who won, who lost, the ebb and flow of the fighting, but on the surprising revelation that really defines this battle report. It's a deep dive into strategic failure and then a unique opportunity. Exactly. And the primary players in this unfolding drama, the valiant Ultramarines, led by the steadfast Captain Aurelius, and get this, none other than the legendary Primarch Roboute Guilliman himself. They face down a truly monstrous threat. 5 gigantic Chaos Knights, delivered by the shadowy dark Mechanicum, right there on Nethamus in the Konor System. Okay, so let's set the stage properly. Nethamus. It's a world of stark contrasts, isn't it? You've got these seemingly endless crop fields on one hand and these grimy industrial zones on the other. And it's there that something truly terrifying has landed. It's a threat of colossal proportions now.
Indeed. And the new threat isn't just overwhelming in scale, it's the sheer destructive capability. We're talking about 5 giant Chaos Knights. And these aren't just, mindless war machines. They're described as sentient engines of destruction, warped by chaos energies. And they're not alone. You've got these insidious smaller demons swarming around their feet, diseased nurglings lurking in ruins, bizarre blue horrors constantly shifting. As for the knights themselves, the source is specific. 2 despoilers, 1 red, 1 yellow. A bronze rampager, terrifying in close combat. A rarely seen ruinator pattern, an omen of doom in itself. And towering over them all, bristling with weapons, the gargantuan Knight Tyrant. What's crucial here tactically is their unique ability, claimed for the Dark Gods. It lets them sticky objectives. Basically, they step on it, it stays claimed by them even if they move off.
Wow, okay, that's huge.
It's a really significant tactical advantage, especially for an invading force.
Right. So in response, Captain Aurelius deployed his Ironstorm force. On paper, it looks formidable. A serious array of firepower, the Stormraven gunship, the Coming Storm, the Gladiator Lancer Stoic Spear, the Vindicator tank Assault Tiger, and the Ballistas Dreadnought, perfectly named Night Slayer. The Stormraven even dropped the Brutalis Dreadnought Maximus right into the thick of it. Supporting these heavy hitters were 2 Tech Marines, Mac and Izumbard. But even with all that might, the source mentions the Ultramarines on foot were immediately in real danger from the Knights' rapid-fire weaponry. They were forced to take cover in the ruins straight away. That tells you just how intense the opening moments were.
Oh, absolutely. And that intensity became horrifyingly real in turn 1. The Chaos Knights immediately surged forward, terrifying resolve, smashing through ruins, ignoring battle shock, the usual stuff. This sheer aggression meant they got the crucial initiative. They fired the first devastating shots. For Captain Aurelius Ultramarines, this was an immediate, brutal wake-up call.
And that opening salvo was, utterly terrifying. Apparently, the Ruinator's rockets didn't do much to the Stormraven, surprisingly. But then the massive Night Tyrant turned its attention and its many weapons towards the coming storm. It unleashed its Brimstone Volcano Cannon. The source describes it as one of the most powerful laser weapons in the 41st millennium, capable of turning solid rock into spraying magma. Just imagine. The impact. Catastrophic. 2 hits, 2 wounds, no save possible. A staggering 26 damage. The Stormraven was just obliterated, instantly destroyed. Miraculously, the troops inside, Assault Intercessors and Infernus Marines, they escaped the burning wreckage, as did Maximus.
But that relic was very short-lived. Now they're exposed, right? The Assault Intercessors were quickly just wiped out by the Red Knight Despoiler's Demon Breath Thermal Cannon. 11 hits. Gone. This opening really highlighted the raw, concentrated firepower and the focused aggression these Chaos Knights could bring to bear, instantly removing a key unit.
And the carnage wasn't just at range. The Chaos Knights and their demonic followers charged in aggressively. The Knight Rampager, that close combat specialist with the gigantic Reaper Chainsword and Warp Strike Claw, it tore into another unit of intercessors. Wiped them out, one single sweeping assault. 19 hits, apparently. These initial charges just underscored how quickly the Ultramarine line was being decimated, unit by unit.
So in a desperate counterattack, the Brutalis Dreadnought Maximus engaged that Rampager, dealt significant damage, 9 points. But the knight is tough, still left standing with 17 wounds remaining. Elsewhere, the scouts did manage a tactical withdrawal, falling back to score extend battle lines, showing some adaptability under pressure.
Okay, but here's where the Ultramarines showed some serious resolve. Focus fire. Everything that could target that wounded rampager did. The Gladiator Lancers' powerful last cannons ripped into it, brought it down to 10 wounds. Getting close. Then Guilliman himself, along with Techmarine Isambard, added their firepower, whittled it down to just a single wound left. And finally, the Vindicator tank, Assault Tiger, delivered the killing blow, felled the giant knight. Boom. That's a moment of focused, overwhelming power right there. Shows even these huge threats can be brought down if you concentrate fire. They scored no prisoners for that one.
Right. Meanwhile, the Ballistus Night Slayer used its Ancient Fury ability, targeted the colossal Night Tyrant, but only managed to wound it slightly. It's a 28-wound monster, so a mere scratch, really. Still very much a threat. And Guilliman. He charged nearby Nurglings, mostly for cover, the source implies. Swept aside many of the little demons, but frustratingly, a few remained. Just enough to be a persistent nuisance, tying him up a bit.
So by the close of turn 1, the scorecard reflected that sheer ferocity of the Chaos Knights opening. Ultramarines had 6 victory points, Chaos Knights had 9. A tough start for the Ultramarines, definitely trailing, though they had managed to remove one significant threat in that Rampager.
Turn 2, though. Turn 2 saw the Chaos Knights double down with truly terrifying tactics, the Red Despoiler. It demonstrated its warp tech. The source describes it as an ability to just disappear into the warp and reappear anywhere on the battlefield. Instantly, this raises a huge question. How do you even begin to counter that? A giant, teleporting, melt-to-armed knight, it just vanished and reappeared deep in the Ultramarine deployment zone on the left flank, ready to unleash close-range devastation.
Oh, man. And the destruction continued relentlessly elsewhere, too. The Ruinator rained terror pulse missiles onto the scouts holding the central objective, wiped them out completely. Then, the Yellow Despoiler turned both its massive Gatling cannons, 36 shots, onto the Ballistus Night Slayer. Riddled the Dreadnought, caused 4 wounds. Significant damage.
But the true devastating highlight of turn 2, the Night Tyrant's second critical strike. It turned that Brimstone Volcano cannon again, this time onto the already wounded Ballistus. This weapon, the source calls it one that just deletes units. Well, it lived up to the name. Got a crucial reroll, hit, no save possible, unleashed more than enough damage, utterly destroyed Night Slayer. The explosion nearly killed Techmarine Mac, too, left him standing with just 1 wound remaining. Enraged, apparently, at the loss.
And the destruction just didn't stop.
Yeah.
4 giant knights still active. The Red Despoiler, now deep behind Ultramarine lines, opened up with its 2 Demon Breath thermal cannons. It cleverly split its fire, destroyed the wounded Vindicator with one, and then with the other at close range delivered an astonishing 36 damage to the previously unharmed Gladiator Lancer. Obliterated, just overkill.
So by the end of turn 2, the outcome for the Ultramarines was stark. Devastating. They had lost all their primary long-range anti-tank. The Storm Raven, Ballistus, Vindicator, Gladiator, Lancer, all gone. The Chaos Knights had scored heavily again. Ultramarines 17 VP, Chaos Knights 23 VP. The gap was widening.
Amidst this absolute devastation, there was a glimmer of hope, maybe. Captain Aurelius deployed the Calidus assassin, Lara, deep into the enemy deployment zone, tasked with sabotage. The remaining Infernus Marines also managed to chip some wounds off that backfield despoiler with their flamers. Small victories, but something.
Guilliman, though, he found himself far from the remaining knights, stuck in this frustrating, almost comical battle against tiny blue horrors. The source describes them like something from a nightmare, mainly because they respawn as brimstone horrors right after you kill them.
All those things. Yeah.
You kill them, they just kept coming back, like trying to punch smoke. Meanwhile, Techmarine Mac, enraged, likely knowing it was hopeless, furiously attacked the giant Night Tyrant. Actually scored 3 brave wounds before, well, the source says he was finally stepped on, fell in a blaze of defiance. Tragic, really.
Yeah. Turn 2 ended. Ultramarines managed some points holding an objective, Lara's success, but the Chaos Knights just continued to build their lead, showcasing absolute dominance on the battlefield.
The grim pattern just continued, really highlighting the relentless decline of the Ultramarine forces. The Infernus Marines tried a desperate overwatch fire, failed to wound the advancing knights. Then, the Yellow Despoilers Gatling cannons again, 36 shots, targeted Guilliman himself. A terrifying volley rained down. He made a lot of saves, but eventually he fell, only to be miraculously brought back by his legendary armor of fate. Still in the fight, but barely.
Wow. Okay. And the Red Despoiler charged the Intercessors.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, caused no wounds in close combat. A momentary, almost unbelievable reprieve for them. Lara, the colleague's assassin, she continued her vital work behind enemy lines, managed to thin out some of those swarming blue horrors. Guilliman, too, still locked in that frustrating battle with the pesky lesser demons. The source notes they just won't die. Their resilience was preventing him from breaking free.
Right. And by the end of turn 3, the scoring really reflected the growing imbalance. Ultramarines couldn't secure any primary objectives. Chaos Knights surged ahead, scoring heavily, 15 points for them. They were solidifying what looked like an overwhelming victory.
Moving into turn 4, the final decisive blows were delivered. It felt inevitable by this point. The red despoiler used its thermal cannon, brought down the Brutalis Dreadnought Maximus, the last big Ultramarine asset removed, and the yellow despoiler, once again, targeted Guilliman. Another 36 shots, brought him down a second time. And this time, the Armor of Fate couldn't save him. The source states it plainly. It's all over for the Ultramarines.
Yeah. Even as their forces crumbled completely, the Calidus assassin Lara, cleverly avoiding the remaining knights, managed to score one more crucial secondary mission behind enemy lines, a testament to her skill. But the outcome was absolutely clear. The Ultramarines were utterly routed. The Chaos Knights secured a near-perfect score by the end of turn 4.
Turn 5 was basically cleanup. The Ultramarines were effectively tabled, forces decimated. Lara scored one final secondary, established locus. Heroic effort from her. But the Chaos Knights once again dominated, maxing out their primary and secondary objectives. The final, crushing score. Ultramarines 34 VP, Chaos Knights 95 VP, an absolute comprehensive defeat. So what does this all mean? This brings us to the really fascinating part.
And this is where the whole narrative just takes this profound, startling turn. The source ends with these lines, chilling lines, really. Guilliman wakes in a fever from his dream. Upright in the cradled armor of fate, he opens comms with Captain Aurelius. There are Chaos Knights coming to Nethamus. This wasn't just a loss, it's a strategic warning. A tactical blueprint delivered through a nightmare. It turns what would have been a crushing defeat into vital reconnaissance.